A low whistle cut through the cavernous quiet of the underground parking garage. The man who approached had a broad, easy smile, not at all deterred when his advance was met with a wall of indifference. He scratched his head, a gesture of mild confusion. He wondered aloud if his gaydar was on the fritz. Alex offered a humorless smile. He posed a rhetorical question, asking if he looked like the kind of guy who would be interested. The stranger was undeterred, remarking that Alex didn't just look it, he embodied it. His very way of speaking screamed it. Before the conversation could continue, a subtle but sharp sound drew Alex's attention. Ethan's index finger tapped a restless rhythm against the car's polished frame. Alex recognized the tell immediately. It was the same impatient beat that surfaced in long lines at the cafeteria, during mind-numbing board meetings, and whenever his Uncle Robert started a sentence with "Now, listen here." Hooking a finger through his keychain, Alex let the keys dangle and swing. He told the man to give it up, gesturing dismissively toward Ethan. He explained that Ethan was just his sugar baby, and it was time for them to go. He then called out to his supposed kept man. Ethan's voice was low, a quiet reprimand as he rapped his knuckles gently on Alex's head. He asked if Alex hadn't already given him enough ridiculous nicknames. Alex flinched, complaining that the taps would stunt his growth. He offered to drive. Ethan immediately vetoed the idea. Alex's driving, while safe, moved at a glacial pace. If he took the wheel, they wouldn't make it home before dark. With Ethan driving, Alex let his mind wander. He recalled a conversation not long after their wedding. His friend Mia had joked that if Ethan were genuinely gay, he'd be an incredibly rare and sought-after type. At the time, Alex had dismissed it. He also remembered Mia commenting that when it came to straight men pretending to be gay, Ethan was far more convincing than he was. What was that supposed to mean? Alex's old foot injury was a convenient excuse, a tool he deployed whenever he felt a pang of guilt or needed a favor. Now was one of those times. As the car slid into their designated spot, he let out a soft groan. He told Ethan his foot was acting up and asked for help getting upstairs. Ethan's suggestion caught him off guard. He offered to carry him. Alex blinked. He remembered asking once, right after the injury, and Ethan had coolly refused, claiming he didn't know how. He wondered aloud where Ethan could have possibly taken a course on the subject. Ethan simply looked at him, then began to slowly, deliberately roll up the sleeves of his white dress shirt. The fabric folded over itself, inch by inch, revealing strong, well-defined forearms. With two buttons undone at the collar and his sleeves pushed to his elbows, his usually formal appearance took on a disarmingly casual edge. Alex commented that the look suited him, giving him a sort of handsome, rogue academic vibe that would be hard to resist. Ethan flexed his arms slightly, inviting him to check for himself. Alex asked if he was showing off, but accepted the invitation nonetheless. Ethan was diligent with his workouts, never skipping a session the way Alex often did. The result was a lean, athletic build that Alex had always envied, the kind that looked slender in clothes but was clearly muscular without. He was transported back to high school, watching a 15-year-old Ethan on the basketball court. He remembered Ethan lifting the hem of his sweat-dampened jersey to fan his face, revealing a flash of toned abdomen. Ethan had turned then, catching Alex's eye in the stands and offering a slight, confident smile that sent a ripple of shrieks through the crowd. Alex squeezed Ethan's bicep. It felt solid, powerful enough to take on 5 of his father's generation and at least 2 of his older cousin, Adrian. Ethan chuckled at Alex's strange unit of measurement. He assured Alex that he could carry him now, even in a princess carry, with no difficulty at all. He asked if Alex wanted to try. After a moment's thought, Alex agreed. He wasn't sure if he should feel smug or concerned. It seemed Ethan was becoming increasingly susceptible to his whims. Every new skill learned, every new acquisition made was presented to him like a trophy. Alex knew he was good to Ethan, but what he offered felt insignificant compared to what he received. Ethan walked around the car. One hand slid behind Alex's back, the other under his knees. With a smooth, controlled motion, he lifted him. The sudden feeling of being suspended in the air brought a jolt of vulnerability, and Alex's hands instinctively clamped onto Ethan's arms, the only stable thing in his world. It was a novel sensation. Ethan had never held him like this. Their clothes were thin, and the horizontal carry pressed them close together. Alex could feel the steady warmth radiating from Ethan's chest where his own shirt had ridden up. With each step Ethan took, the metal buckle of his belt pressed into the small of Alex's back. A repetitive friction that left a trail of petal-pink marks on his skin. A dull ache he chose, for once, not to complain about. Instead, he gripped the rolled-up cuff of Ethan's sleeve, his fingers leaving faint creases in the crisp white fabric. He had collected another of Ethan's firsts. His brother's first Princess Carrie was his. A familiar warmth, like the one from that morning, began to swirl in his chest, a comforting current comparable to the March sun. The faint, fleeting scent of orange blossom hung in the air. The warmth dissipated too quickly to be properly noticed. The moment his feet touched the ground, Alex forgot all about his feigned injury and darted away, his phone having chimed with an incoming email he was eager to read. On his laptop, a new message from Cyprus Games awaited. Ethan, looking over his shoulder, asked with a hint of disbelief if he had actually pitched a project to them. He wondered if Nexus Corp, their own family's company, wasn't good enough for his talents. Alex explained it was a strategic decision based on their recent success in the mobile market, plus the old adage about not soiling one's own nest. Ethan was only teasing. He respected Alex's professional choices. But there was a catch with Cyprus. While they were enthusiastic about his game design and had sent him an official invitation to bid for a project, one of their terms was a deal-breaker. The designer would have to forfeit all naming rights. Ethan called it a petty move, typical of Cyprus. He explained that they were essentially just buying the concept and mechanics to hand over to their established in-house studio, a practice that went against everything Alex stood for as a creator. The most important person in the process, the creator himself, would be erased. Ethan suggested he pitch to Nexus instead. He could compete fairly and test his skills. As a game design graduate, he shouldn't lose out to outsiders. Ethan promised he wouldn't interfere at all. During the presentation and evaluation, they would act as if they didn't know each other. Alex accepted the proposal. He joked that now, on top of pretending to be a loving couple, they would also have to act like complete strangers. Ethan agreed it shouldn't be too difficult. Fate, however, had a twisted sense of humor. 2 days later, on a bright afternoon, Alex, having successfully passed the initial screening, walked into the headquarters of Nexus Games, a subsidiary of the main corporation. He joined about 20 other hopefuls from various indie studios in a sleek, minimalist waiting room, preparing for the first round of project presentations. A young man sitting next to him, who had already asked the same question 3 times, wanted to know if he was nervous. Alex assured him he wasn't, suspecting the guy was trying to psych him out with reverse psychology. The young man, whose name was Leo, laughed and admitted that even if he didn't get picked, the experience of being there was worth it. He spoke with genuine awe about catching a glimpse of Ethan, the vice chairman, so young, so successful, and wearing a wedding ring. A true family man on top of being a business tycoon. Alex feigned ignorance, asking who this vice chairman was. His own husband? Here today. Leo confirmed it, saying he'd heard Ethan would be sitting in on the presentations. He needed to be on his A game. He wished Alex luck, excitedly talking about the possibility of becoming colleagues. Leo seemed dedicated to cultivating a high-stakes, tense atmosphere, hoping to rattle his competition. He marveled at the unlikelihood of ever getting to see someone like Ethan up close. Alex just nodded along, his mind racing. If Ethan was coming, how was he supposed to act like they were strangers? It was a mess. As he was contemplating this, the waiting room door opened. A project manager announced that the preliminary selection was being taken very seriously by Nexus. Not only would 2 senior executives be present, but the vice chairman himself, Ethan, would also be in attendance. Just as Alex wondered who the executives were, he saw them in the distance. His Uncle Robert and Uncle David. Ethan's words echoed in his head. In front of the uncles, they had to be a perfect, loving couple. But Ethan had also said to keep it professional at work, to act like strangers. His brain short-circuited. This level of acting was beyond him. A new storm was brewing, and Alex was frozen in its path. He wanted to call his celebrity cousin, Adrian, for a crash course in acting, but Adrian was filming and wouldn't appreciate the interruption. The guy beside him, Leo, chuckled, noting that Alex finally looked nervous. That was more like it. For a moment there, with Alex's calm demeanor, Leo had almost thought he owned the place. Alex shot him a look, the words "you have no idea" on the tip of his tongue. He mumbled that he needed to use the restroom. Leo gave him a sympathetic glance as he walked away, remarking that Alex's supposed lack of nerves had just manifested as a nervous bladder. No sooner had the words left his mouth than the vice chairman himself, who had been casually checking his watch, also headed in the direction of the restroom. Inside, Alex confronted him. He demanded to know if Ethan was trying to kill him. Ethan, looking weary, rubbed his brow. He asked why Alex was even at this session. Alex explained that his friend Chloe's dog was having a birthday tomorrow, and he'd swapped his presentation slot to help celebrate. Ethan paused. He asked who Chloe was. Alex clarified she was Mia's dog. Ethan fell silent for a moment, then dryly observed that Alex seemed to have a bustling social calendar, with half the year dedicated to celebrating for others. Alex retorted, asking if he was busier than Ethan, who worked late so often he was left to defend their empty apartment alone. The words hung in the air, the bickering taking on the flavor of a resentful spouse's complaints. Alex found it amusing. It was the first time they'd ever argued over such trivial, domestic matters. He decided to get back to the point. He reminded Ethan of his advice to play it by ear and asked for more specific instructions. Ethan replied that things were already so chaotic, they couldn't possibly get any worse. He had just called Chloe, the human one, their cousin, and their grandfather, who were both nearby, and asked them to come. With them watching, the uncles would be too preoccupied to focus on him and Alex. Alex was stunned. For sheer audacity, his brother was in a league of his own. He had been panicking for nothing. Seeing his serious, tense expression, Ethan softened. He ruffled Alex's hair. He assured him that he didn't need to do anything. Ethan would handle it. Alex felt a wave of relief wash over him. The gentle tug at the roots of his hair was strangely soothing, a warm, calming sensation that spread through his shoulders. He felt like he was basking in the spring sun. He mumbled for Ethan not to mess up his hair, wanting to make a good impression. He gave Ethan a quick, hurried hug and left. When Alex returned to the waiting room, it was empty. Everyone had moved to the large conference hall next door. He was late, so the only available seats were in the back, which suited him fine. A moment later, Ethan entered. He scanned the room, ignoring the reserved seat with his nameplate at the front, and confidently took the empty chair beside Alex. A sea of heads turned toward them, like sunflowers tracking the sun. Alex frantically typed on his phone under the table. "Get out of here, man." Ethan's reply came instantly. "I could be living the easy life, but here I am, trying to build a career. Whose reputation am I doing this for?" Alex, who had been about to move, stayed put. A faint, almost imperceptible smile played on Ethan's lips, though it vanished the moment Alex looked at him. "Washboard, durian, or keyboard? Pick which one you're kneeling on tonight. I'll make you mushroom soup and pasta when we get home. I love you, bro." Ethan suppressed a smile and put his phone away. The presenters were drawing numbers. Alex's was 11, somewhere in the middle. As he walked past his uncles, he gave them a brilliant smile. When he passed Chloe, she grinned at him, and he winked back. The presentation format was similar to a thesis defense. He presented his project, the panel asked questions and gave scores. While waiting, Alex quickly changed his laptop's wallpaper from a vacation photo of him and Ethan to a simple image of orange blossoms. He also closed the chat program they'd been using. The last thing he needed was their private conversation popping up on the big screen. Most of the questions came from the game company's staff. The old chairman was there to lend gravitas, while his own mother and father, dressed impeccably, seemed to be cosplaying as decorative statues, occasionally jotting something down. Whenever his brother was being serious, Alex had the urge to cause a little trouble. The table had a modesty panel, so he nudged Ethan's calf with his foot. No reaction. Emboldened, he hooked his foot around Ethan's leg and gently swung it. Ethan shot him a cool glance, the stroke of his pen wavering slightly on the paper. Unfazed, Alex kicked his thigh. The hand holding the pen tightened. "No." The single word, spoken suddenly by his brother, made Alex sit up straight. It wasn't directed at him. His brother was suddenly speaking, his voice cold and critical, directed at the previous presenter. "The character balance was a major issue," he said. "There were other minor problems, but the biggest flaw was its lack of commercial appeal. A game that can't make money can't support its development team." Alex pouted. Work mode Ethan was ruthless. Number 11, Daybreak Studio. Alex picked up his laptop. As he walked past Ethan's hand dropped, his fingertips brushing against the back of Alex's hand. The contact sent a surprising jolt of warmth through him, that same sun-drenched feeling spreading through his body. He stood at the podium, the ring on his keychain bracelet clinking against the metal lectern. Like all the other presenters, he wore a faint, professional smile as he connected his laptop to the projector. His game design and evolution of his senior thesis was meticulously polished. He had spent countless hours on the concept art and environments, some of it his own work, some commissioned under his direction. Ethan had only seen bits and pieces before. This was the first time Alex was showcasing the complete vision in a public setting. He delivered the presentation with a relaxed confidence, as if inviting the room into a casual but engaging discussion. During the Q&A, a few industry professionals asked straightforward questions, which Alex answered with ease. His uncles, looking bored, offered a perfunctory good and not bad. Chloe, who wasn't in the industry, simply applauded enthusiastically, ignoring whatever act he and Ethan were performing. A low murmur went through the audience. People were impressed. One person whispered that his own design felt like garbage in comparison. They wondered who this Alex guy was. Just as the host was about to thank him and move on, a crisp voice cut him off. It was Ethan speaking from the back of the room. He announced that he had a few questions, apologizing for taking up the other candidate's time. Alex froze. Couldn't they have discussed this at home under the covers? He'd been doing so well. The uncles weren't making trouble. Why was his brother adding more drama? But then he remembered their conversation in the restroom. Ethan had told him not to do anything, just to cooperate. He wanted to see what kind of performance his brother had in mind. Ethan's first question was direct. Did he think his game could be profitable? And if so, by how much? The entire room fell silent. Everyone exchanged glances. This was the heir to Nexus Corp, and his first question was a killer. Just moments ago, seeing Ethan sit next to Alex, they had assumed he was showing support. They never expected him to be so ruthless. Chloe turned to glare at Ethan, but was held back by the uncles. Alex, with a smile that didn't reach his eyes, looked at his brother. He couldn't guarantee profit, he explained. A new game's success depended on many factors beyond good design and mechanics. It also required a bit of luck. Ethan raised an eyebrow, prompting him to continue. But Alex added he could guarantee quality. He wouldn't lose Nexus Corp's money. Ethan's next question was why he hadn't chosen Cyprus, since Nexus was known for large-scale games and was weaker in the mobile market. Alex thought his brother was being vindictive, bringing that up. He was the only one being grilled this intensely. The uncles would probably think their relationship was falling apart, that they were having a public divorce. He was definitely kneeling on a keyboard tonight. Ethan pressed on. Alex's design included a new, untested game mechanic. How could he guarantee it would be fun? Alex was prepared. He explained he had conducted small-scale beta tests with different consumer groups, and the approval rate was over 96%. The people around them were stunned. It seemed this Alex person had seriously offended the Prince of Nexus. Ethan seemed determined to grill him into submission. The uncles exchanged a brief look, one of confusion, the other of twisted amusement. This was the first time Alex had sparred with his brother like this, and the lazy part of him was starting to feel a competitive spark. He stood at the podium, hands on his hips, firing back an answer for every question. "Excellent," Ethan said suddenly. "Thank you for your hard work." He paused, his voice seeming to vibrate through Alex, bringing that familiar warmth. "Don't be afraid. One last question and then you can go." Alex nodded. "Your game is a romance-oriented game for a female audience." Ethan continued, leaning back in his chair, one hand propping up his chin, the other holding a pen. "But beautiful graphics and a great voice cast don't guarantee an immersive romantic experience. If it were you, how would you maintain the romance in the game?" He looked at Alex, a faint smile playing on his lips. "Have you ever been in love?" For any professional question, Alex had an answer. But this was his blind spot. He'd never really dated anyone. In high school, Ethan had been like a one-man chastity belt, scaring off any potential admirers within minutes. In college, his relationship with Ethan had been so close that no one else could get in. And after that, they just ended up together. "You know damn well whether I've been in love or not," he wanted to shout. But that would damage his brother's reputation. After a beat that felt like an eternity to the rest of the room, he spoke. He didn't believe it was necessary for a game designer to have personal romantic experience. The romance in a game could be crafted through script, atmosphere, and a variety of other elements. With a team-based approach, he was confident they could address that concern. Ethan nodded slightly. Then Alex added, "But you've raised a good point. I've never dated. Maybe I'll try it sometime." The smile on Ethan's face vanished. Alex, noticing his time was up, calmly shut down his computer, gathered his things, and walked back to his seat. As he passed Ethan, he deliberately bumped the back of his chair. Ethan gave no reaction, maintaining the facade that they were complete strangers. The moment he sat down, Alex's phone buzzed. "Mia, I finally finished my voice acting homework. That professor is a monster." "Alex, you have no idea what I just went through." "Mia, what?" "Alex." Ethan was the one asking questions after my presentation. "Mia, wow. You two are so extra with your public displays of affection. Did your brother go easy on you?" "Alex, are you kidding? He almost interrogated me into a coma. I had to use all my skills." "Alex, never get on his bad side. It's terrifying." "Alex, I don't get him. I'm definitely kneeling on durian tonight." Ethan had glanced over several times, but Alex kept his head down, fingers flying across his keyboard, engrossed in a chat with someone. Ethan knew Alex's circle of friends was vast. He was still in touch with classmates from kindergarten. Nexus Games was efficient. 30 minutes after the last presentation, the results were in. Out of 23 initial designs, 8 were chosen. Alex was one of them. As soon as he joined the candidate group chat and changed his nickname, he received several friend requests. One was from Leo, the guy from the waiting room. "Leo, bro, it's me." "Alex, got it." "Leo, did you piss off Vice Chairman Ethan? He was really targeting you." "Those were all trick questions, so hard to answer." "Alex, nah." "Leo, I thought you were done for, but you were so impressive. Your project is really polished." "Alex, thanks." "Leo, keep it up, man." I asked around. "It's 8 candidates for 4 spots. If we both get in, we'll be colleagues. But be careful of Ethan. I heard he's really cunning. The people who cross him, let's just say their grass grows tall." Alex wondered where that rumor came from. "Ethan, cunning?" "Alex, no problem. The guy was a bit much, but his directness was refreshing now that the tension was gone." Just as he was about to chat more, a hand tapped his shoulder. He looked up. Ethan was at the door, signaling for him to follow. "Alex, gotta go, man. Let's hang out soon." Alex closed his laptop and followed Ethan toward the top-floor office. He passed his uncles and gave them a polite nod. He expected Uncle Robert to look pleased at the apparent rift between him and Ethan, but the man's face was still a thundercloud. He swiped his card and found Ethan's office. Ethan was sitting on the sofa. Alex adopted a serious tone. He accused his boss of nearly choking him with questions during the presentation and now summoning him for a private meeting. He wondered if Ethan had a crush on him or was driven by a bitter, unrequited love. He perched on the arm of the sofa, keeping some distance. He had to admit the man played the role of a vicious boss quite well. A moment later, a pair of arms wrapped around his waist. Ethan had moved beside him, holding him tight. He asked softly if Alex was really angry. Alex admitted he was. Ethan explained that he had told him not to worry, that he would handle everything. Alex complained that keeping up with the TITH's rapid-fire questioning was exhausting. But he conceded the results seemed to be good. For some reason, their performance had worked. The uncles were fooled, and everyone else thought they had a blood feud. Ethan's voice was low, almost a murmur against his ear. He asked about what Alex had said earlier about maybe trying to date someone. He wanted to know if Alex was planning to cheat on him. Alex turned, indignant. He accused Ethan of having the nerve to ask that, after specifically targeting his weakness. His own husband, asking if he'd ever been in love. He demanded to know if his relationship with Ethan counted. Ethan's response was a muffled, almost inaudible yes. The single word caught Alex off guard. They were too familiar, both men. How could they date? He had spoken in the heat of the moment. Ethan's arms were still locked around his waist, the pressure a warm weight through the thin fabric of his shirt. The spot where the belt buckle had pressed against him earlier began to feel strangely warm again. He struggled out of the embrace, moving to the other end of the sofa. He complained that it was getting too hot for all this closeness. Ethan didn't speak, but his index finger started tapping on the sofa's arm. After a long silence, he called Alex's name. Alex's reply was a deliberately impatient what. He was still annoyed, not just by the questioning, but by the unfamiliar feeling of being on the opposite side of Ethan. It was like his normally gentle cat had suddenly bared its teeth and nipped him. Ethan tried to placate him, offering to buy him shoes to make up for it. The word shoes was a magic spell. Alex, who had been slouched on the sofa imagining he was a piece of seaweed, suddenly sat bolt upright. He asked if he was serious. Ethan replied that he had never lied to him. Alex mumbled that was debatable, that Ethan often made grand promises. Alex had a peculiar hobby. While other guys might buy a single pair of sneakers from a trendy brand, Alex had to have every size and color of a model he liked. They occupied half of the massive walk-in closet at Ethan's place. He could wear fast fashion clothes, but his shoes were sacred. Ethan tossed him his phone. He told him to go ahead and buy them. He would have a display room cleared out just for them. Alex scrambled across the sofa cushions. He had intended to give Ethan a kiss on the cheek, but, remembering his self-imposed "it's too hot" rule, settled for a hug around the neck instead. He declared that being a kept husband was the best. He had no desire to work hard anymore. The interrogation was completely forgotten. Ethan let out a sigh of relief. The shoe fiend was easy to appease. Money solved everything. For the next few days, Alex could only be found amidst piles of shoeboxes. Meanwhile, Nexus Games had allocated a budget for the 8 selected projects to continue development. As Leo had said, Alex's game was already quite polished, with complete CGs and environments. But Alex wasn't satisfied. He was lazy in many aspects of his life, but he was passionate about his projects. The issue of creating a convincing romantic atmosphere had been raised by more than one person, and he was taking it seriously. When Ethan came home from work, he found the house empty and went straight to the second-floor walk-in closet. He found Alex on the floor, surrounded by shoes, laptop balanced on his knees, staring intently at a piece of game art. It was an illustration by Lily, a girl on their team. When Mia had first seen it, she had declared it was so sweet it could kill her. Alex, however, just didn't get it. Ethan asked what he was looking at so intently, reminding him that dinner was getting cold. Alex muttered that something felt off about the illustration. Ethan sat on the floor beside him and took the laptop. The anatomy and features were fine, and the character designs were on point. He couldn't see a problem. It was a simple, elegant image. The composition was exquisite, creating a powerful sense of tension without any overt action. Alex insisted the pose was impossible for a human to achieve. He wanted to change the art, but Lily, the artist, was notoriously fierce. If he altered her work, she would probably bash him over the head with a keyboard while calling him a clueless straight man. As Alex agonized, Ethan suddenly stood up. He walked behind Alex, lifted him from the floor, and positioned him with his back against the closet door. He told him that if he had doubts, he should just test it himself. Otherwise, it would continue to bother him. Alex thought that made a certain amount of sense. Ethan glanced at the screen, adjusting Alex's legs so they were hooked around his waist, pressing him slightly closer. He asked if it hurt, knowing that men were generally less flexible. Alex shook his head, his hands finding the door behind him for support. Ethan's hold was steady, but he still felt a sense of imbalance. Ethan pointed out that the pose was perfectly achievable and gave his lower back a light pat. He told him not to mess with people's artwork. Alex conceded. Ethan glanced one last time at the screen, then mimicked the action in the illustration, leaning in to place a light, fleeting kiss on Alex's lips. He immediately let go, setting Alex back on his feet. In a brisk tone, he told Alex to clean up his mess and come down for dinner. Then he turned and left. Alex stood frozen as the door clicked shut, a strange heat spreading through him. It felt like summer had arrived early, a phantom breeze sneaking under his collar, making his whole body feel flushed. Long after the moment had passed, his cheeks were still burning. He scrambled to clean up his shoe boxes, then pulled out his phone and typed a search query. Can a person suddenly develop sensitive skin? After consulting several search engines and messaging a med student friend from elementary school, he concluded that improper skincare could indeed lead to sudden sensitivity. But his friend said his symptoms didn't quite match and told him not to worry. He sat for a while longer amidst his mountain of prized possessions until the dizzying heat finally subsided. He felt fine now. From downstairs, Ethan's voice called out, asking if he was planning on eating his shoes for dinner. Alex shouted back that he'd rather starve, but he was on his way. By the time he ambled to the kitchen island, Ethan had already reheated dinner and even baked him a small potato. The man who commanded boardrooms by day was surprisingly domestic. Alex praised him, saying it seemed there was nothing in the world he couldn't do. As he spoke, he distractedly tapped the golden brown skin of the potato with his spoon, wondering if it was safe for someone with sensitive skin to eat. Ethan gave a non-committal response. He watched Alex's expression closely. Alex seemed to be his usual carefree self, eating and playing on his phone, seemingly unaffected by their earlier interaction. The allure of good food was too strong for Alex to resist for long. His brother's cooking wouldn't kill him after all. The potato was perfect. Just as he was enjoying it, Ethan asked if he had any other issues with the artist's other illustrations. The question pulled him back to work. He explained that he'd figured out the previous one, but there were other parts of the script he was still unsure about. Ethan offered to help him review it later. Alex expressed his gratitude, then voiced his concern again about it being unfair competition. Ethan reassured him that it wasn't a problem. He was only offering opinions, not technical or financial support. And after his performance at the presentation, everyone would just think he was being overly critical of Alex's project. Alex realized Ethan had a point. That wild performance had saved him a lot of future trouble. Speaking of which, he remembered that his mother had called that day. Ethan paused. She had told Alex that his performance was brilliant, a masterful display of hidden affection beneath a stormy exterior, and that she regretted not sending him to drama school. Ethan urged him to get to the point. The point, Alex said, was that her plan had worked. The uncles were now thoroughly convinced of their deep love for each other and had called off their watchdogs. With Ethan's position as the next chairman secure, she had said that Alex didn't have to live with him all the time if he didn't want to. So, Alex announced, since his game studio was almost set up, he wanted to furnish a small loft there and move in for a few days to experience the struggling artist lifestyle. Ethan's face was unreadable. Fine, he said, his voice flat. He agreed it was a good idea. He had shot himself in the foot. After a moment, he nodded. A few days was acceptable. He told Alex to let him know when he had furniture. He warned him not to stay away too long. Even though the pressure was off, they still needed to be careful. Alex promised he would. The lifting of the on-duty alert was a huge relief. The next afternoon, Alex drove to his daybreak studio. It was a small apartment he'd bought in an office building near Nexus Corp. The other members of his team were all friends, and the studio was a spontaneous venture. The place was still a mess of construction materials, with half-hung wallpaper drooping from the walls. He was early. Mia was still at her dorm finishing homework. Alex sat down amidst the clutter, logged into his streaming account, and started a broadcast to meet his monthly quota. His chat immediately filled up. Viewers teased him about his faded t-shirt, a birthday gift from Ethan back in freshman year of high school. He defended the shirt, then bantered with his regulars, eventually agreeing to carry the top 2 donors in a few rounds of his usual first-person shooter. An hour later, Mia arrived with snacks. Alex had just hit his 3-hour streaming minimum for the day and signed off. Mia noted how at ease he seemed, streaming from the floor of an unfinished studio. Alex pointed out that she had brought a pile of snacks when they didn't even have a table. Mia had brought his favorites from a bakery near campus, but Alex hesitated. He still hadn't figured out the source of his allergy. Mia teased him, asking if he was pregnant. Alex shot her a disgusted look. He pulled up a chair and described the strange, hot, tingling, and red reaction he'd had the other night. He listed everything he had touched: his computer, his stylus pen, and his brother. Mia dismissed Ethan as a factor, calling him organic and harmless. She asked what exactly had happened. Alex explained about the illustration and how Ethan had suggested they test the pose. After Ethan held him in the pose, he had kissed him and touched his face. That was it. Just as Alex was about to demonstrate on Mia, a voice came from behind him. It was Ethan. Alex froze, his hand hovering in midair. He asked what Ethan was doing there. Ethan explained that since Alex mentioned moving in, he wanted to see the place. Alex suddenly felt a pang of embarrassment about the state of the studio. He, who had let Ethan see him at his worst, now wanted him to see a new, beautiful workspace. He quickly offered Ethan the only chair. Mia, watching the two of them, suddenly felt that her previous assumptions about their relationship might have been wrong. There was something more complex going on. The likely source of Alex's allergy was standing right in front of her. She made an excuse about picking up a food delivery and fled, leaving them alone. Ethan told Alex that even though they didn't need to be on all the time, he should still be mindful of maintaining a certain distance with other people. The kind of casual physical contact he was about to initiate with Mia was not a good look. Alex, who hadn't actually intended to touch Mia, meekly agreed. He and Ethan maintained a polite distance as they discussed the game script. Ethan's tone, when speaking to him, was different from the cool, reserved manner he used with others at the company. It was relaxed and familiar. He sat there, dressed in his formal work attire, amidst the construction dust, looking as comfortable as he did when they used to sit on the school steps together. The scent of his orange blossom cologne cut through the smell of plaster. Alex suggested they go to a coffee shop downstairs, not wanting the Prince of Nexus to suffer in such a dump. Ethan's lips curved into a genuine smile. It wasn't an illustration that was bothering Alex this time. It was a section of the game script. He pointed out a scene where two characters were talking around their feelings instead of just confessing. He didn't understand the point. Ethan patiently explained that the scene depicted a secret crush. He pointed out the subtle clues. Character A buying snacks for everyone just to have an excuse to give some to Character B. Not all feelings can be spoken aloud, he said. The human heart is a mystery. You can never know what the other person is thinking. The character was afraid of losing even their current friendship if he confessed and was rejected. The probability of liking someone who happens to like you back is very low. This was a novel concept for Alex. He'd always believed in the fairy tale version of love. When he was little, he'd asked his mother what "I love you" meant. His genius mother, a titan of finance, had taken him to see the stock market data. She told him that when he could make a lot of money, he would find that everyone in the world loved him. A 6-year-old Alex had been so confused he'd sworn off asking such questions ever again. He wondered where Ethan had learned all this. Who had he been with? What had he experienced that Alex didn't know about? He got lost in thought, his mind drifting away from the script. A girl's voice broke his reverie. It was Lily, the artist from his team, wearing cat ear headphones. Alex, about to introduce Ethan, had a sudden flashback to the closet, the heat rising in his cheeks. He quickly changed his wording, introducing Ethan as his older brother. Lily commented on how handsome his brother was. Ethan had offered to furnish Alex's studio loft. Trusting his taste, Alex had agreed. When he finally went to see it a week later, after Ethan had returned from a business trip, he was met with a scene straight out of a low-budget prison drama. The loft bedroom contained a metal frame bed with a thin, army green mattress, a plastic shoe rack with 2 metal basins hanging from it, and security bars installed on the inside of the window. Horrified, he messaged Ethan, "Nice work. Never do it again. This is less struggling artist and more awaiting trial." Ethan, how do you know working isn't like being in prison? Alex, says the Crown Prince of Nexus. Ethan's reply came much later. The custom furniture you wanted would have taken 2 months. You seemed eager to move out, so I found a faster solution. If it's uncomfortable, you can always sleep at home. The Nexus training program began. At the company cafeteria, Alex ran into Leo again, who was raving about the food. He joked that if he failed to get one of the 4 final spots, he might just try to seduce the young chairman of Nexus. He then clapped Alex on the shoulder and said Alex would have a better shot, being better looking. Alex wondered if all straight guys talked with such bluntness. It made him reconsider his own past jokes with Ethan. Mia coughed, reminding Leo that Ethan and his spouse were supposedly very devoted. Leo took the bait, turning to Alex with mock pity. He'd heard gossip that Ethan's partner had sent dozens of angry texts during a board meeting, and Ethan had openly paused the meeting to placate them. Dozens of texts? Alex whispered to Mia that it was about the prison-themed decor. Who wouldn't be angry? Leo, now on a roll, added more. He'd heard the young chairman was completely henpecked. He kept his distance from everyone, male or female, because his spouse was very possessive. He also kept the company cafeteria stocked with a huge variety of nuts, even though few people ate them, just in case his spouse dropped by and wanted a snack. And after his spouse had a leg injury, he'd had portable wheelchairs placed on every floor of the Nexus Tower. Alex listened, stunned. He had been so oblivious. He was learning details about Ethan's kindness to him from a stranger. The agreement, the public performance, it had all been far more successful than he'd realized. His phone buzzed. It was Ethan. "If you get any closer to that guy, I'm coming down there to drag you away." Alex, do you have a tracker on me? Aren't you on a business trip? Ethan, came back a day early. Finished the deal. Missed you a little. The last part sent a strange warmth through Alex. He'd missed Ethan too. Ethan, be careful at the branch office. People might recognize you. Alex, stop nagging, I know. We're talking about work. Ethan's wife, so good. Don't listen anymore. Leo noticed Alex had lost interest. Alex just mumbled that he needed to rest before the afternoon session. He felt distracted. Wife was a nickname he had started, a joke he'd used countless times. But when Ethan used it, that familiar heat crept up from his fingertips, up his spine, and settled in his cheeks, turning them and the tips of his ears a faint pink. "Are you blushing at me?" Leo asked mid-bite of his chicken. Get lost, Alex snapped, his thoughts scattering. It's my sensitive skin. It's very fashionable. That afternoon, Lily's tablet died. Alex offered to get a spare from his brother's office on the top floor. He took Mia and Lily with him, using his keycard, a card with Ethan's name on it, to access the executive elevator. Lily was bewildered by his confidence, wondering if he was a hacker. In the elevator, Mia finally explained it to her. The handsome older brother Lily had met was Ethan, and Ethan was Alex's husband. Lily's brain short-circuited. All the gossip she'd heard about the demanding, jealous chairman's wife was about their lazy, easygoing team leader, Alex. Alex found Ethan napping on the couch in his office's private lounge. He tried to stealthily retrieve the tablet from under Ethan's hand, but Ethan's eyes snapped open. In one swift movement, he pulled Alex down, pinning him on the sofa. Alex went limp, knowing from their old sparring days that he was no match for Ethan. He lay there, feeling the weight of Ethan's knee against his side. Ethan's voice was husky with sleep as he playfully called him wifey and asked why he was there instead of working. His shirt was unbuttoned further than usual, and his dark eyes were still hazy from his interrupted nap. The scent of orange blossom and jasmine was a clean, calming presence. Alex, feeling the heat rise in his ears again, avoided his gaze. He explained he was there for the tablet. After a bit more banter, he retrieved it, along with a handful of snacks from a cabinet he knew Ethan kept stocked, and left to rejoin his friends. Back with his team, Mia asked him if he had any special feelings for Ethan. A racing heart, butterflies. Alex laughed it off immediately, a little too quickly, a little too loudly. He slapped Mia's shoulder, telling her that straight guys and their jokes were wild. He insisted it was just a business arrangement, a favor. Who would catch feelings in a situation like that? A voice came from behind him. Alex. It was Ethan. He didn't know how long he'd been standing there, or what he'd heard. He simply held out the stylus pen Alex had forgotten. His expression was placid, his tone normal. He gave a polite nod to Mia and Lily and walked away. The metal of the pen still held a faint warmth from his hand, but it faded quickly. Alex stood there, a strange sense of disappointment washing over him. He wasn't sure what reaction he'd been hoping for. From his office window, Ethan watched the rain begin to fall, blurring the city into a watercolor of gray. He was closing the distance, but the other person seemed determined to pull away. At the next training session, it was Daybreak Studios' turn to present a playable demo. Alex explained their unique design, which integrated side stories into collectible cards to create a more immersive player experience. He handed a spare phone with the game loaded to Ethan, who was once again in attendance, and asked him to be the one to draw a card. Just draw anything, Alex said. A flower, a bird, a word. Whatever you like. Ethan's voice was even. He said he couldn't think of anything, so he would just write Alex's name. His finger moved across the screen, and the name Alex appeared in elegant cursive. A moment later, a card materialized. It was the illustration from the closet, the one he and Ethan had reenacted. The enlarged image on the projector screen bridged the gap between his memory and the present. The scent of orange blossom, Ethan holding him close, his low voice a summer afternoon wind chime. The 30-odd pairs of eyes in the room flickered between the screen and the two men. Ethan's voice broke the silence. He asked, his tone neutral, if his luck was considered good. The drop rate for that particular card was notoriously low. Alex, who had never managed to pull it himself, was snapped back to reality. He quickly replied that it was excellent, his tone a mask of polite detachment. Ethan's reply was just as formal. Then your name is my luck for the day." Alex had never heard his brother's voice sound so magnetic, so stripped of its youthful teasing and imbued with the resonant confidence of a mature man. It almost made him believe the act himself. During the feedback session, a representative from a rival studio, ETC, began tearing into their design. The man, clearly trying to suck up to the executives, echoed Ethan's harsh critique from the first round, latching onto the perceived weakness of the game's romantic elements. He belittled the person Alex had clearly consulted for advice, calling them an amateur who didn't understand the industry. He was, of course, talking about Ethan right to his face. Alex stole a glance at his brother, who was watching with a look of detached amusement. The ETC representative, emboldened by the lack of reaction, pressed on, suggesting that the person Alex had consulted was probably a loser who couldn't get a date in real life either. Ethan's fingers began to tap a quiet, a rhythmic beat on the table. Alex sensed his brother's annoyance and had to suppress a laugh. Although, to be fair, Ethan probably hadn't ever had to chase anyone. Then Ethan spoke. His voice was calm but cut through the room like ice. He stated that his previous comments had been objective criticisms, whereas the current speaker was engaging in subjective attacks. He reminded the man from ETC that the industry evolves, and a developer's job is to listen to players, not to dismiss the work of others based on personal prejudice. He concluded that the critique lacked substance and would be marked down accordingly. The man from ETC turned pale. Ethan then turned his gaze back to Alex, his expression softening almost imperceptibly. "I like it very much," he said. Later, Alex went to Ethan's office. He found a significant sum of money transferred to his account. A message from Ethan read, "Dowry for my wife." Alex felt his cheeks flush. He told his brother to be serious, that there was no audience now. But he couldn't deny the flutter in his chest. That night, Alex stayed in the dorm room Nexus provided. It was luxurious by any standard, but it felt cold and empty. He missed the soft chairs, the ambient lighting, the fully stocked fridge, and the comforting presence of Ethan. He couldn't sleep. He ended up sneaking out and hiding in the back of Ethan's car. Ethan, lost in thought, didn't notice him until a sudden break sent Alex tumbling from the seat onto the floor. After a brief, theatrical lecture from Alex about husbands abandoning their wives on the highway, they drove home. In the car, Alex listened to voice actor auditions for his game on his phone. The romantic lines, one after another, filled the car's quiet interior. Ethan, without a word, turned the stereo on, blasting rock music so loud it drowned out everything else. When they got home, Ethan stood by the open car door, arms crossed, and asked with a cool, mocking tone if Alex's legs were too weak to get out. It was the same line, the same teasing voice from their shared past, but now it landed differently. The sound of it, more than any of the professionally recorded audio files, made his legs feel genuinely weak. A familiar heat crept up his neck. He buried his face in the seat cushion. Not long ago, he had tricked Ethan into a Princess Carrie. Now, the memory made him want to dig a hole and hide. Ethan's voice softened. He reached in, gently ruffling his hair. "Come on, wifey. Stop fooling around. Let's go home." He told Ethan to carry him. And under the fragmented moonlight, Ethan did.